Hello, church family, and today we're going to be in Genesis chapter 11, verses 5 through 6. So let's jump in there. And in verse 5, it says, "And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of man had built. And the Lord said, Behold, they are one people, and they have all one language. And this is only the beginning of what they will do. And nothing they propose to do will now be impossible for them." And so yesterday we talked about this, and a couple of chapters ago we also acknowledged this, that God had some rules for the people after the flood, right? To be nice to one another, don't kill, right? And then the next rule was to multiply and to populate the earth, to go and to be people and to multiply. And guess what we saw yesterday in those first 4 verses? In chapter 11, they're not doing that. They're disobeying this plan. They're disobeying exactly what God has asked them to do. And now the Lord in verse 5 comes down to see what the people are doing. And here's the thing. The Lord has a plan and He has a design. And when He gives us those, when we get a little bit of understanding of what to do, we should do what He says, because we tend to mess things up. As humans, we tend to mess things up. The Lord wants to see the people multiply and to expand over the earth, because this is part of His design and His plan. And we've got to trust that. And so what does the Lord do? How does He intervene with the people? And I find a lot of encouragement in that the Lord still wants to intervene with fallen people in this scenario. The Lord still is involving Himself in humans' lives. And He's always been that God, and He will always continue to be that God, right? With us and with the Spirit in Jesus. But in verse 7 it says, "Come, let us go down and confuse their language, so that they may not understand one another's speech." So the Lord dispersed them from there over the face of the earth, and they left off the building of the city. Therefore its name was called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of all the earth. And from there the Lord dispersed them from over the face of the earth. The conclusion, right? To wrap this up, the Lord intervenes. These people are disobeying, and the Lord comes and He sees His perfect plan, His design through. This is what the Lord has willed for the people to do. And that's what's so encouraging about Genesis and the Old Testament, is that all these covenants, these promises, and these things that the Lord is setting in motion, He doesn't just leave it up to us to figure out, right? Because we mess it up. But what the Lord does is that He sees it through. Those promises, these covenants, His plan, His will, He is going to intervene. And He does intervene. And that's what we should do as humans. God has designed us, right? God has, the way David talks about this, He has knitted me together in my mother's womb. He knew me before birth. Jeremiah also talks about this. He knew me before I was even here. The Lord has a plan. He has a design for not only the universe, everyone, but also you as an individual. And yes, from time to time, we mess that up. Yes, from time to time, my pride, my selfishness, it gets in the way. But when we realize that and we see the opportunity to lean on God, put your trust there with Him. Put your trust with the Lord. Rely on Him. Know that His plan, His design is perfect for you. Understand that the Lord knows what we need more than we can understand ourselves. We should really put ourselves in the hands of God when it comes to just the things that are outside of our understanding, out of our control. Trust in the Lord today. Do what He asked you to do, right? If you know God's plan, you know His rules, you know what He's encouraging you to do, follow that. But even when we try to make stuff happen for ourselves, still turn to the Spirit, still turn to the Lord. Trust Him with those things. Know that He intervenes. Know that He cares. Hey, thank you so much again for just always tuning in and being here. And love doing these. Love getting to be a part of this. And we'll see you tomorrow. We love you. We'll see you soon. All right.